Hello there, and welcome back to this series on commonly wrong answered questions at GCSE Maths. In particular, today we're going to focus on some quite advanced topics, but so part of the difficulty of these will be the fact that we're connecting so many different topics together from across your GCSE Maths. It's also that these topics are just genuinely quite challenging as well. So, I would, as always, I'd invite you to have a look, see if you can do those questions by yourself, and then come back and review the video, see if you've made the mistakes that often people might make, and with these there's quite a lot of them, or if you've managed to do so successfully, or if you're just not sure where to go. So, let's just have a look at this first one here. So we've got work out 27,125 to the minus 2/3. So this is on the topic of fractional indices. So you've got to remember what each part means. So what does minus 2/3 mean as a power? There's quite a few aspects of that, and we've got a fraction as well. We've got to think about what numbers that we've got there. Okay. So a very common wrong answer would be someone doing something like this. Some people just think you need to times by the fraction. You got to notice it's in brackets and it's to a power, it's not to multiply, so that's not correct. Okay. People end up not being sure to do the minus sign. So yeah, I think it just needs a minus at the front, it doesn't. And we'll have to think about the rest of that in a little bit. This one, expand and simplify this. The most common wrong answer for this would be 9 minus 2, which it isn't. Okay, what you've got to realise is when we've got a squared, it means times everything by itself. That means we've got a bracket times by the same bracket, and you've got to then expand those as double brackets. Okay, so all the simultaneous equations. So we've got two equations here. A common error here is people thinking, oh, we've got the same number of x's, I'm going to take them away and then it's going to cancel. It's not, because we can't do x squared, take away x, that's not going to cancel. Okay, if it was x minus x, yes it would, but x squared take away x is not going to cancel. It's a quadratic, so we need to got a different method trying to solve it. It's a quadratic simultaneous equation, requires quite a bit more thought. So let's have a go at these. Let's have a go through this fractional indices one. So thing to think about is that we've got minus 2/3 as our index. Okay. Now we need to think about what they do. Now there's three kind of things that I'm thinking of here. So one of the points would be that if we've got a minus, it means reciprocal. Okay, i.e. flip it. So I could change that to 125 out of 27 to the power 2/3. The minus is gone because I flipped it. Okay, now we've got this 2/3 bit. Now the top two would mean square it, as it normally does, but I don't fancy squaring those numbers. However, the third is a power, so the 3 on the bottom is going to mean to cube root. Okay, so what numbers cubed gives us those. So if I had 1 cubed, that's 1 times 1 times 1, that's 1. 2 cubed is 8. 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3, that is 27. 4 cubed is 64. 5 cubed 125. So we're going to end up with cubing both of the numbers. Cube root is going that way. And so the cube root of 125 is 5. Cube root of 27 was 3. So that means I've now got this. Okay, and then the little 2 as a power, it just means square. That was normal. So square in the top, I've got 25. Square in the bottom, I've got 9. And it might say write it as a mixed number, for example. So I could say that is 2 and 7/9. 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 7 gives us 25. So that'll be one way of writing it. But the key part of that question is to break it down into each part and know what it means. So this means what the root is. Okay, that means the power that we normally do. And that bit is going to mean flip the fraction. Okay, if you had just a number like 3, you could write it as a fraction in terms of 3 divided by 1. Okay, expand and simplify. 3 minus root 2 squared. So that means I've got to do 3 minus root 2 3 minus root 2 as we said. Now if we make sure we're actually multiplying everything out carefully, it's 3 times 3, that's going to give us 9. 3 times minus root 2, remember these minus parts are sort of connected as one term, that's going to give me minus 3 root 2 minus root 2 times 3, that gives me minus 3 root 2, and minus root 2 times minus root 2, that's going to give me plus, if we times them in the square roots, that's going to be root 4, so then I've got 9. These two here do not cancel. Because they're both a minus. Often people get used to them cancelling, they just automatically think they do. Minus 3 root 2 and minus 3 root 2, that makes minus 6 root 2. The plus 4 is going to be a plus 2. So in the end we get 11 minus 6 root 2. Okay, but be very careful with, make sure it's expanded, these in the middle not cancelling, and then us getting values at the end. Now for the simultaneous equation, so it's always easiest to work with this linear one, have a mess around with that to get it to work. Now I like to do it by substitution. So if I rearrange this one, add y to both sides, I get that x is 1 plus y. Now this here is what I'm going to substitute into this one here. Okay, because I now know what y is. I can work out what x squared plus y squared is in terms of x. Actually, not quite done there, am I? Sorry, I'm substituting in what x is if I'm doing it that way. I'm going to do that way because I don't want to avoid any minuses. So I'm going to substitute that in for what x is. So we've got x equals. So my equation x squared plus y squared is 4. I can now replace x with 1 plus y, just being careful to make sure I've got a bracket. Right. Now I've got a bracket square as I've just had in the previous video, previous part. 1 plus y, 1 plus y. And let's make sure I'm expanding that out properly. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 times y is plus y. Plus y there. And then we get a plus y squared there. And I've already got a plus y squared there, so I'm going to keep that. So we've got this equation, let's simplify it and tidy up. So we've got 1 plus 2y plus 2y squared equal to 4. Now, whenever we're trying to solve an equation that's got something squared in it, we try and make it equal 0. So let's make this side equal 0. So if I take away the 4, I'll get 0 here. So I would have, I'm just going to write it slightly differently, 2y squared plus 2y plus 1 equals 4. Just reordered these terms. So I'm going to take away the 4. So I'll look up here. So 2y squared plus 2y. 1 take away 4 is going to give us minus 3. And that's going to equal 0. Now we can try and factorize this, yes? So I'd have to do 2 times 3 to give us 6. So once I've thrown to that times to give us minus 6. And it adds to make 2. I don't think anything will do that. Because I'm thinking we've got 6 and 1 and 3 and 2. Right, so I don't think that's going to work. I'll work out the minuses. So that means we're going to have to use the quadratic formula or complete the square. Because we've got a number in front of here, I'm going to say complete it, solve this by the formula. So, first of all, let's try to, can you remember the formula? So yeah, sing the song if you need to. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root to b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then we need to correctly work out what a, b and c is. So a is 2, b is 2, c importantly is minus 3. It's when we've got the minus attached there. And we can get our values. So minus b is going to be minus 2 plus or minus b squared minus 4, what's the 2, what's the minus 3, do put everything in brackets just to be safe. all over 2 times 2. So we put that into a calculator and get our values. So we're going to get two values. We're going to get one where we put the minus in front of the square root, and one where we put a plus in front of the square root. Okay, so first value I'm going to get, when I put the minus in, I get minus 1.82. Doing that to two decimal places, it'll tell you in the exam. And then if I change that to a plus, I get 0.82. I've done both to two decimal places. So these are both x values. Okay, so x is both x values. But we need, we're not done. When we're solving, we want the y values as well. So when x is minus 1.82, I need to work out what y is going to be. Now, if I rearrange this equation just slightly, I get y is x minus 1. In other words, I just need to take 1 away from the value to get what, so that means that y is going to be the x value minus 1.82 minus 1, minus 2.82. Right, so that's one pair done, and then we need to do the pair when x is 0.82, y is 0.82 minus 1 to minus 0.18. And to finish, just being really clear what the values are. So x is minus 1.82, y is minus 2.82, x is 0.82, y is minus 0.18. That is your set of solutions. Okay, a good little check is to actually substitute into the equation, in the original equation, particularly the quadratic one. So let's take that as an example. So if we did x squared, so we'll do the top one, squared plus 2.82 squared, and I should get 4. I'm sure I'm going to though. I made a mistake. So where have I made a mistake? Now let's check the other value. 0.2 squared plus y squared. That does not give me 4 either, which means that I've made a mistake somewhere. So let's backpedal and see if we can work out where I made a mistake, whether it's putting the values into the formula. See if you can spot what mistake I had made. Right, if I hadn't done that check, I would have gone away thinking it was correct. So it's always important to check your answers. So this is where we go back through the example and have a think about what mistakes have we made. So first step, I rearranged that. I did y to both sides, so I believe that was correct. Substituting x in for 1 plus y here. Okay, double brackets, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Okay, first one, take away 3, it might be when I put it into the calculator. So I've put the values in correctly. So let's put that back into the calculator and see if we get the right value. Minus 2 minus the square root b squared minus 4ac 2 what's the 2. Okay, no, if I do get x is minus 1.82, there will be a rounding error, but it shouldn't make that much of a difference. And I get a plus value. I get 0.82, so possibly did all of it correct. I think, or else I just made the same mistake again. And then we need to work out what the y values would be. So minus 1.82. Is that correct here? I've taken away 1, so it's x minus 1. That's correct. So that's the x value, so minus 1 from it. That gives me the other value. So the x value here, take away 1 from it. That gives me the y value. That's definitely not correct. Because if I did that squared, don't get 4. So I made a classical mistake in what I've written down. So those values were correct. So just rubbed out an oil. However, notice how I wrote down x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b, so minus 4ac over 2a. The equation to do with y. So this here is wrong. That should be the y value. Hence these are y values. Okay. So I need to work out what x is, which is where I add 1 to them. So what I have is, when y is 0.82, I can work out what x is by adding on 1 from this formula in there. Circle here. When y is minus 1.82, I need to add 1, I get minus 0.82. So they're my values. Now if I put them into the calculator, 1.82 squared plus 0.82 squared, I do indeed, I'll get 3.98, so basically 4, it's not 4 because of the rounding. So, classic mistake there that I made, so well done if you spotted it when I first made it. So making sure that you're very careful with what you're labelling, but also more importantly that you actually check your answer at the end. Okay, so then you're making sure that you know whether you're right or not, and then you can act accordingly if so. So I hope me actually making a mistake there was helpful for you to spot the error and sort of think about how you would react to that error, sort of backtracking, trying to realise where you made a mistake. Okay, so thank you for your time and take care.